Hi, this is Dan Schuck at Glass Half Question. Is glass half empty or half full? What's your perspective? Have you ever wanted to change your perspective on this? There might be a good reason to look at the glass from the other perspective. Why would you want to do that? In this episode, you're going to find out about how powerful it is for you to be able to consider different perspectives. This is the heart of my Glass Half Question project, and also the theme of my children's book for grown-ups, A Glass Half Empty or Half Full, which you can find on Amazon or barnesandnoble.com. So far, we've talked about what the difference between a perspective and a fact is. And we've also talked about how perspectives can change, and that we can therefore change our minds. Let's talk about how you can put this information to use. It's very easy for us to look at something, apply all of our existing fact and perspective filters to it, and form an opinion about it. In fact, it's easy for us to believe so strongly in our perspectives that we begin to confuse them for facts. I'm sure you see this every day. We see other people do it all the time. But we don't quite as often catch ourselves doing that. We are so embedded with our own perspectives that sometimes we start to believe them to be facts. But it can be very, very powerful and enlightening to look at something and choose to look at it from a different perspective. It's not always easy, but it's almost always quite rewarding. I don't necessarily mean you need to throw out your perspective and fully adopt a new one, but I do mean you might want to suspend your support of a particular perspective for a few moments to allow yourself to consider a new one. This is part of daily life. It's really kind of the fundamental building block to learning anything new at all. You have to both accept that there are new facts that can be introduced, but also different perspectives that can be used. I might really want to go into that bounce house, despite the fact that I'm too tall for it. After all, as we've already established, bouncing is awesome. But if I can suspend my perspective that it is a thing for me to do, and consider the perspective of the child who might be concerned that I will bounce on top of all the other children and break the bounce house, I might choose to look at the whole bounce house situation differently. Or I might not, but at least I can understand the child's perspective and explain why they needn't worry. That's probably a way too simple example. We all have to face much more serious choices about how we apply perspective to our daily lives. How we look at money, love, friendship, power, faith, beauty, safety, responsibility, or even fun are all based on perspective. And suspending our current perspective about these kinds of things is a lot harder to do. But when we do look at these things, even for a few moments with a different perspective, it can be extremely helpful and valuable. It's not easy to do, and it takes practice. It's like learning to play an instrument or play a new sport or video game. The more you actively do this, the easier and more natural it will become. Over the next week, try to pay attention to the perspectives you hold and what an alternative perspective might be. As you do this, just consider for yourself what the opportunities might be of considering that alternate perspective. But what do I get out of it really, you might be asking? This sounds like a lot of work. What's in it for me? Those are good questions. I'll tell you what, next time we'll talk more about how you can use this practice of perspective to get more of what you want and need out of life. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful and kind of fun, and be sure to click on the subscribe button now to make sure you get the next videos in this series. My website is www.glasshalfquestion.com, and if you go there, you'll find the full catalog of these videos and the rest of my content. Leave me a comment here if you have any questions or related thoughts, and please share this video with anyone you know that you think would appreciate this, or perhaps someone you know that could use a little extra help with perspective. Also, feel free to leave me any comments here if you have questions or ideas. I appreciate the feedback. And remember, keep practicing perspective.